My name is Debbie Winstead, and this is my internship presentation. One of the graduation requirements at BYU, Idaho, is for each senior in the Marriage and Family Bachelor's Degree program to do at least 160 hours of internship for a cause which improves the lives of others. This internship was an unexpected highlight of my college education. My internship was done through Build Rehabilitation Industries in Sylmar, California. I had applied for an administrative assistant job thinking it was a construction company, very convenient to my home, but I was wrong. I looked around on Google to find a suitable internship for a long while. This one fell into my lap soon after I was hired to be the administrative assistant to the president and CEO. A need came up for a job coach for the Supported Employment Program, or SEP, to go out to a job site where we help IDD, or intellectually and developmentally delayed adults, work in their work environment, meeting the employer's needs. Job coaching is a job function that helps intellectually developmentally delayed adults, which we call clients or customers, find jobs. And then once they're found, we go out with them for a certain amount of time of their work shift to help teach them how to meet the needs of their employer and to make sure the employer is also meeting the client's needs. Instructions for how much coaching is required comes from the Department of Rehabilitation, we call the DOR, or the North Los Angeles County Regional Centers. A summary for each session must be submitted, which includes a quantitative analysis with the evaluation of what has gone on during the job coaching session. Some of the places I have worked with clients is DD's Discounts, Ralph's, Target, TJ Maxx, a bakery, AMC Theaters, Pacific Theater, CVS Pharmacy, El Pollo Loco, Galpin Ford. We also have what's called a work program at Build, which we do like shrink wrap and packaging for different vendors. We call it our WAP program. And clients can work there who are unable to work for other employers. The job requirements are a high school diploma or GED. You need to have a background check and live scan fingerprints done. A TB test is required. First aid and CPR training certification is required to be renewed every 2 years, just as the sexual harassment training is renewed every 2 years. Training in universal precautions, mental health awareness, HIPAA, behavior techniques, positive reinforcement, and common medications is trained annually, and you take examinations on them that auditors check very closely to make sure that we're being compliant. Some of the job-specific training is how to fill out the various forms for state and federal and county agencies, as well as the forms that Build needs for their records. There's a lot of record keeping that goes on when you work with these adults. I looked up the term service to see what it meant, and it is the action of helping or doing work for someone. I like this because we actually are helping these people become more self-sufficient and independent. With each new step that they take and each new goal that they reach, they're getting more confidence to move forward and hopefully one day be as fairly self-sufficient where they had not had that ability in the past. We each have our shortcomings and trials to face. Some are more apparent than others. We all need to help those who need assistance, and in turn, we often need help ourselves. In the Bible, we can read the story of Ruth and Naomi. After the death of their husbands, Ruth chose to stay and help Naomi, who was her mother-in-law, rather than return to her hometown. Sometimes we are the Ruth who gives the help, and sometimes we are the Naomi who needs the help. This internship allowed me to help those in my area better themselves and become more independent, and in return, they helped me to better myself. During this period, I came across all types of individuals. I was able to interact and get to know each client personally rather than as a label of a disability. As a senior at BYUI, working on a marriage and family studies bachelor's degree, I drew back on the things I had learned, such as developmental psychology, abnormal psychology, as well as reaching back to my upbringing in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where service and ministering is an integral part. From autism to cerebral palsy to head injuries and those who suffer from seizures, speech issues, or other physical impairments, we worked side by side and became a team. I grew away from the prejudices I had carried with me prior and learned to take each individual as just that, a beautiful individual with so much to share in this. One of the relationships that I developed early on in my job coaching was with a gentleman named Daniel. He needed some career guidance and some help where he was being employed. His diagnosis was HFA, high functioning autism. And initially he was fairly rude and had some outbursts. The setting was a grocery store where he was a courtesy clerk. Some of the manifestations of adult autism can be seemingly unresponsive when spoken to, with little or no eye contact, appearing to be indifferent. They take all communication as concrete and have difficulty with figurative speech. A lot of them do not like to be touched, and they have an emotional outburst when they're overstimulated. They have social difficulties. They may appear shy, quirky, awkward, and they have trouble making friends. And their interests tend to be very narrow. A lot of times they don't seem to display empathy because they don't really understand that they're hurting other people's feelings. They tend to be rather blunt. At our first job coaching session, Daniel would not give me eye contact. He wasn't rude, but he just didn't respond to anything that I was saying. And it didn't seem like much had been accomplished. By the second session, he was happy to see me, he said. He made a little bit of eye contact, and we started a good conversation. And we set a couple of goals, some really simple goals, like keep your shirt tucked in, those type of things to help his appearance stay neater and more in line with what the store had wanted. He would get upset when others would treat him like he was stupid. He said he trusted me and he understood me because I didn't treat him that way. This was huge. Daniel was eventually career path towards a degree in film, starting at Mission Community College nearby. Starting college was a major task, and so far he has been successful in going to class and handling the workload there, along with doing his job at the store. He is very smart and he's actually quite funny, but very few really get to see that in him. At work, there's been a great improvement with relationships. He is interacting more with his coworkers. He is doing more pleasantries with the customers that he interacts with. He tries a small talk. He's not real good at it, but he's working on it. He's working on the eye contact, which is another problem that he has. And I'll stay with him until he's comfortable on his own, even after my internship is complete. I went into this experience with a negative attitude. I felt it was a dumb idea. However, that quickly changed. As I got to know each individual client and learned about each unique and interesting aspect of them, I was inspired. I looked forward to each new week and what it would bring. I am sure I grew more and improved more than they did. I shared in their successes and allowed them to share in mine. I found it is a very personal venture. You learn so much about the struggles of others, and you begin to appreciate all of your blessings. While we all have our struggles, the burdens of them are lessened by those who come along to help lift our loads. They lifted mine probably more than I lifted theirs. What a great opportunity this was for me to grow and become a better person. Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. In Mosiah 2:17 in the Book of Mormon, we read, "When ye are in the service of thy fellow beings, you are only in the service of your God." I would recommend this sort of internship to everyone who has a desire to help those around them grow and better themselves. It is an experience that words cannot define. So if you are in or around the Southern California area, Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley area, and would like to work as a job coach for Build Rehabilitation Industries in Sylmar, California, I encourage you to contact Pat Walsh, the Director of Employment Services, at 818-898-0020. It is a great place to work. There's a lot of resources that you can tap into. The things that you're learning in school, you get to utilize them in a very positive manner with the clients that you get in contact with. This has helped me with my foster son that I have taken on, who has IDD, PTSD, and severe ADHD. These adults helped me to understand him better and what he's going through as a small child getting ready to hit puberty. It is going to help me to help him find a path that he can take to be a successful adult and independent. So again, let me give you her name. It's Pat Walsh. She's the Director of Employment Services at Build Rehabilitation Industries in Sylmar, California. Her number is 818-898-0020. Thank you.